Hey guys, Bishme back with another video, and today, like we do it every week, we got the SRL weekly recap. I'm joined by Shiny Shuriken.
What's up, guys?
So yeah, this week we're doing it a little late, so we're gonna combine the week recap of weeks 9 and 10 together. We're just gonna knock it out one time. And so yeah, let's get into these power rankings. Going into these power rankings, I had just picked up a 1-0 win, I think, or 2-0 win against Coach Squid. That was where was able to set up with Kamo, get a very strong lead, and almost lost to Raibambi. I almost threw the game away. That did see me going up 3 spots, which I'm very thankful for. I did drop a lot. I dropped to 9 from losing to Ice Cube, which is kind of drastic from one mistake. But I'm glad I was able to bounce back to the spot I was previously at. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's good movement. I thought it was a huge drop to lose 4 spots and drop to, I think, what was your lowest ranking of the season at 9. I thought that was a big drop. So I think the 3-spot movement from a 1-0 win is really just fixing the mistake from week 7's power ranking.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, hopefully we could get to 1. Maybe not the way it turned out, the season, but we're looking towards playoffs. And then in your case, you went to number 2, in the week 7 rankings, because you did take down the undefeated Cerulean Mewtwo's. After that, you lost to the Dendemil Dragonites. The Shell Smash battle. And, wait, did you? Yeah, and that dropped you back down to 4.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's good movement. I agree with it. I was ill prepared for that battle. Didn't have much put together to try and combat it. I brought a team from the prior weekend. So losing the 2 spots for a 1-4 loss. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I think if you definitely were more prepared, or your Pokemon just had the right EVs and stuff, it would have been a different battle.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not waste any time and get into these battles for week 9.
In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I forgot to speed it up.
Yeah,
I'll speed it up.
So let's just call out right away that my opponent did some amazing prep work and brought a completely different team than what I thought they were going to bring. I was planning for Corviknight, Pyukumuku, and Shuckle, and my opponent completely switched it up and went with something completely different. Right off the bat, this Mamoswine kind of had me in a corner. It was going to hit everybody super hard. So switching and all this other stuff, I mean, I ended up going into Quagsire, thinking that my max HP, max defense with a positive defense nature Quagsire is going to eat an Earthquake, and it absolutely doesn't. So all around, I was ill prepped for a massive attacking team. I don't really know what else I could have done to counter Mamoswine at the start. If I would have led better, maybe led Inteleon instead of Hitmonchan, I think that would have helped. But
yeah, I definitely agree on your switch to Quagsire. Like you said, your max defense, max HP plus defense nature, expecting to live the Earthquake, and here it just does over half. And I was surprised myself. I had to run some calcs. I'm thinking bro, that doesn't make any sorts of sense. But apparently Mamoswine just hits that hard, and I was surprised. And your whole team being on the ground, you don't have anything that could just switch in and ignore the Earthquake. So
right.
Yeah,
and Quagsire was my most expendable Pokemon, so losing him early wasn't the worst thing in the world. It's always tough to lose a Pokemon and not get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So that was tough. I was hoping that maybe I could live one. And this crit hits and I go down but whatever. It's not like I don't think the crit truly really mattered. I think I was going to go down either way.
Yeah.
And if I didn't go down, I would have I would have got a recover off, but I mean, I wouldn't have been doing much. So just tough. And just bad plays. I think I was just so shook from a completely different team. I had nothing prepared for all of this. So and then I see I made another mistake. I accidentally prepped and got my sniper Inteleon ready. So when I grabbed my Torrent Inteleon, he was not the right moveset. He was supposed to be Focus Energy, Sucker Punch, Ice Beam, and Snipe Shot.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't go Inteleon on the Mamoswine here for some reason. And then I make just a really, really bad play. But going Inteleon there would have been the better play instead of bringing in Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, I see, like, you seeing that it's Torrent really threw you off and, like, kind of deterred you from switching it in. And yeah. I think, like, definitely if it was Sniper, we always talk about it, that crit Snipe Shot, it would have knocked it out,
Well, even the Torrent one would have been good. I mean, I can't use the Sniper anyway, but I should have still gone Inteleon, and I don't know what I was scared of. I don't know why I didn't do it. I don't know why a different moveset did that. And then I make a really, really bad play, forgetting that I can't Thunder Wave a ground type. I honestly don't know what I was thinking. Seriously, I should have just came in, Gigantamax, hit the max snooze, wished for a lullaby, and max guarded my way out of here.
Yeah, because if you just came in and Gigantamax right then and there, and like you said, either going for the snooze or even going for the Drain Punch to increase your attack, I'm not sure. You see how much that Earthquake did. You could have definitely gotten off 2 hits instead of letting your Grimmsnarl take the big hit, in the regular form.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it was just bad plays. My opponent prepped really, really well. And I was playing poorly, and I was underprepared for this type of a team. I was max guarding here to see if maybe he would do just something different, and I don't know,
or something. All right.
Get some leftovers. I have no idea what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to think through anything and any type of strategy to try and get through this because I'm so in a hole right now. I don't know what to do. I can't make any switches because I can't take Earthquakes on anybody else.
It was tough, especially sending in Grimmsnarl and then allowing it to get that low. It's just, oh man, what do you do? Like you said, maybe going into Inteleon and going for the Snipe Shot, that would have been better. Or even when you brought in Grimmsnarl, if you just Gigantamax and went for the snooze, that would have been better, because as we see, Grimmsnarl was slower than Mamoswine, so it would have went down no matter what.
Yep. Yeah, just bad plays. And should have known better. I'm better than that. I should have made some better plays. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't begin to tell you guys why in the world, because I didn't have the right Inteleon set, that it scared me from not going Inteleon, because even just calcing it here, Inteleon would OHKO with Snipe Shot.
Oh, for real? Without a crit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Would have been just fine.
You gotta, I don't know,
it does 106 to 126 damage, just straight up without the crit. And it's I could have just gone that second turn. I'd still have my Grim. I'd still have a G-Maxer to his non-G-Max team because he didn't have a G-Max. I don't know what I'm thinking.
You would have switched in Inteleon. I believe maybe you saw that it didn't have Sniper, and you lost faith, man.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You turned your back on Inteleon.
And I paid for it. I was even trying to make a prediction here. I was like, he's going to switch Dragapult or Noivern. I called it. Still went Flamethrower. I wanted to go Knockoff. Noivern, of course, being the second fastest thing on this team behind Dragapult, was also a troublesome piece for me to try and break because I needed this thing gone so Inteleon could try to do something later.
Yeah, that Psychic looks like it would have hurt anything on your team. In between, like, everybody being on the ground with Mamoswine's Earthquakes, and then Noivern coming in with the Psychic, you know, even though Hitmonchan is Spadef, it definitely wouldn't have switched in on that.
Yeah.
So,
and then he was Specs, so it was just huge damage.
oh man.
And I really wanted to keep Salazzle healthy, so I thought I'd go out to I moved some special defense investment in and slapped an Assault Vest on Hitmonchan, and you can see the absolute ridiculous damage that Specs Noivern does. I know it's super effective Psychic, but still.
Yeah, like, it's not even stab boosted.
No, it's just crazy damage.
Yeah.
So I had nothing. I
like you
just
like
bad
you said,
plays.
you know, you prep for, you know, that really bulky team that he has, you know, with the Pikamuku and the Torkoal. I believe he has Torkoal.
I don't know. I don't know if he had Torkoal, but it was Shuckle.
Oh yeah, not Torkoal, Shuckle. That's what I meant to say.
Shuckle,
Yeah.
Pikamuku, and Corviknight. Just
Yeah.
big walls. So my team was ready to take that on, and would have been a really fun match had that have happened. Because I was definitely prepped and ready for those.
Right. And like you said, you know, he just brought a whole different team. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But, you know, that although you had a lot of misplays in the end with your first 3 Pokemon, you know, I gotta say, you start to bring it back here. Bringing in Mimikyu.
A little bit. You know, Mimikyu, my number 1 pick, my old reliable. You know, I'm so familiar with these Pokemon, with Inteleon, with Mimikyu, Salazzle. I can play these Pokemon extremely well because I've used them so much, and I think I was just so shook, unfortunately, is what I have to say. I gotta be honest. I think I was just so out of it that I just wasn't thinking through my plays well enough.
Yeah.
And here I just kind of went to the old reliable Mimikyu with Swords Dance here, and I get rid of the Noivern. And there's an advantageous moment here. And this is the big controversial moment, because some of you may know that I went live and vented out my frustrations with my RNG. It's like I said that night, my RNG wasn't that bad this match. It's just that the biggest moments of RNG happened at the most opportune moments for my opponent.
Yeah.
To keep the match looking the way it was, the 5-0. This was a huge moment here because Coach Braves brings in Vikavolt, which can't do too much to me. And I had looked at the calcs real quick. I was like, all right, you know, I'm at somewhere around 75 to 80% of health. Of Volt Switch does about 50 to 60%. I think I say it on the video. So I'm like, you know what? I can Swords Dance, and I'll be okay. After a Swords Dance, not really much can touch me, and I should be good. So
Yeah.
I go for the Swords Dance here.
Because, you know, Shadow Sneak kills Dragapult, kills Mamoswine, you know, Drain Punch for Obstagoon, Drain Punch for Heliolisk, and, you know, you just had the right coverage for the rest of his team on your Mimikyu.
Yeah. So he Volt Switches, and he gets a crit. And I just want to say, this was a huge moment for my opponent. Because, honestly, that changed the entire landscape of this battle. Because right there, I was about to get the first piece of momentum in this battle. Because a +2 Mimikyu, +2 attack Mimikyu, Shadow Sneak KOs a Dragapult. Unless he ran some unless he ran some investment in there, but I don't think he did because he built this to handle special attacks because he put Assault Vest on it. And so this changed how the remainder of this battle played out. I will say this. If that Volt Switch doesn't KO, there's a chance I win the battle. A chance. I think he still pulls it off. I think Heliolisk was too much for me to handle, and if he makes all the right plays, fine. But if he goes Dragapult, I can Shadow Sneak, and unless he switches in either Obstagoon or Heliolisk at that Shadow Sneak, I KO the Dragapult. If he goes Obstagoon, I can Drain Punch him faster than the Obstagoon. I can Drain Punch and KO and get my health back now.
Mhm.
Now I'm a little scarier because I'm going to get my health back, and I'm going to Oko it. It's just unfortunate. Heliolisk was only worrisome because he outsped me.
Yeah.
So Inteleon... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say with Helios too, like, you know, you also had two other Pokemon that you could have used to pivot, you know, either throwing in Salazzle to then bring in Inteleon or vice versa, you know, like Helios could have been handled.
Yes, he could have been. And I get, like I said, there was only two moments of major RNG. He gets a turn 1 Thaw on the absolute lucky freeze, which, you know, Inteleon went second, so it's not like the freeze ever mattered. It did nothing for me.
It's like, you know, they threw you a bone, they teased you, you know, you thought things were looking up with the freeze, and they just thawed turn 1.
Like I said, I had 2 chances. I had 2 chances to come back into this match, and they were gone because of RNG. I got nothing. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate to say the least.
Like I said, you guys have to give applause and props to Coach Braves for prepping well enough. But it's funny because literally those two Pokemon, Inteleon and Mimikyu, were going to be so huge in this matchup, and I couldn't get it.
So yeah, we do see Shiny Shuriken taking a loss this week. You know, let's see if the luck continues where I win or you win, like, and we never both win. So
yep.
So yeah, I'm ready to play in 3, 2, 1. So yeah, so Shiny Shuriken lost to the Denimil Dragonites in the week prior, week 8. You know, that was the Shell Smash battle. So I wanted to try to avenge him and bring in my own W. So when we looked at his team, you know, he had a lot of special attackers. So I bring Virizion this week with Light Scream, and also I have, you know, that Giga Drain, especially for the Mudsdale. You know, I didn't want it getting up that stamina boost. So yeah, I set up
the Iron Defense.
Yeah, like I didn't want it to matter to Giga Drain. So I set up my Light Screen, you know, get that started. I believe I'm Light Clay, yup. And he also has like a big Trick Room team, so I figured, you know, off the start he would just go straight for it since he sent in his Dusclops. But he tried to burn my Virizion, and, you know, I was a little interesting. Here, I wanted to maybe think he stayed in, and I just wanted to knock off his Eviolite, but I think U-turning was the better play because, you know, who lets their Dusclops' Eviolite get knocked off, you know? So
yeah,
I think like U-turning here would have been better to bring back in Virizion to then like go for a Giga Drain, which instead you see here. Wait, what was it? It was Leftovers. So here I just hard switched,
which I think
back
was helpful to get rid of.
Oh yeah, the Leftovers.
Yeah, helpful to get rid of, but yeah, unfortunate because you're already giving him a stamina boost.
Yeah, yeah. I give him that first boost, and then I come in. He Iron Defenses, that puts him at +3, and then now I'm like, oh man, he's setting up, and I forget that special attacks also kick off the stamina. So I thought I was good. The Giga Drain puts him at +4 now, and I'm like, yo, hopefully I live. And that body press obliterates my Virizion. So now
sent it out, yeah.
I just sent it out to go down. I believe I'm a special Send a Scorch this week, also to help deal with the Mudsdale, just in case. Just in case, you know, it started getting out of hand, I ran special Send a Scorch. So I ran a calc just to see like what was my best move, and it looks like Scald always KO'd. So just throw off a Scald. And I don't know, what do you think, like trading Virizion for Mudsdale? in that sense.
Tough. Tough because I think it would have been interesting to see you go Centiskorch, Gigantamax, and go for either the Max Overgrowth or the Max Geyser.
Yeah.
Because they might have been, and you saw that they left it in. I think so many people forget that Centiskorch gets Scald.
Yeah, I like using that Scald. Here I figured, he'd go for the Shell Smash. Against you, he ran a Focus Sash set, and I believe we talked about it. If he wasn't Focus Sash, he would have been White Herb. So I figured if he got off a Shell Smash, I could hit him hard enough with, those defense drops that, it might put him in the KO range.
Yeah.
It actually looks like he ran a physical Blastoise this week. So yeah, we didn't see the drop, so he had to definitely be Focus Sashed. So I just wanted to bring him down to that.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. It looks like
gets the crit.
The crit did it matter? He was minus, but what did I expect here? Oh, okay, so I knew he was faster. I figured he'd just go for the water move. So I was like, you know what? I Gigantamax for no reason at all. I could have just gone for a Power Whip. So I bring in my Gastrodon, canceling my Gigantamax. And, I just want to... because most people don't expect you to switch out of a Gigantamax. But I definitely think the Rock Slide would have KO'd either way.
Oh, yeah.
That's
an interesting one.
So, and the light screen wears off. I just go for the Scald here for the stab boosted. He's also at -1, I believe. I'm not sure. Does it bring you down 2 stages or 1?
2.
Yeah. Okay. So he was at -2. I figured I could just go for the safe Scald, get that off. Gastrodon gets a little bit of recovery. I'm not sure.
Gastrodon was a beast taking those hits.
Yeah, it took the Rock Slide really well, being at +2, and then the Ice Punch, it did a lot. And I don't remember who I think I bring in Centiskorch, yeah, because do I bring in Centiskorch? I don't know, it's been a while. Because I'm thinking he goes for the Max, not the Geyser. He goes for the Ice move. He definitely has to go for the Ice move because you can't hit Gastrodon with the Water type attack. So I believe
Mandibuzz
is
gonna set up the Veil.
Yeah. So I figured he'd go for the like you said, the Veil, or even but he goes for the Freeze Dry. And I guess he expected me to stay in, and I forgot Lapras got Freeze Dry. So that was like a big surprise to me. I was like, wait, what the heck? So I just go for the Roost because, like I said, I'm max special defense on my Mandibuzz. So I know that I could live a hit and I'm faster. So I lose my flying type. If he goes for the Aurora Veil, it'll only hit a dark type Mandibuzz. It won't be super effective. And so I get to stall out his Gigantamax here.
Oh, you know what though? How advantageous do you think would have been trading Mandibuzz for the knockoff to get rid of the Lake Clay to stop the Aurora Veil from being 8 turns?
Well, I ran Brick Break on Morpeko and Beartic just so that if I wanted to come in and just get rid of it, I was ready to go. So I mean, I don't know when I could have switched in Mandibuzz on it though, because if I went for the knockoff there, I think the Resonance would have definitely KO'd me not being a flying. No, I would have been a flying type on that turn. So yeah, after seeing what the Freeze Dry did, I'm not sure what's Freeze Dry base power, but yeah. But here, he goes for the Max Geyser because I know that a rain boosted Max Geyser would have definitely KO'd my my Mandibuzz, whether I was flying or not, whether I went for another Roost. So
from full, you think it would have? I don't think it would have KO'd from full.
Yeah, definitely maybe not from full. Now that you say that,
I think sitting in for Roost was a good play.
Okay.
but I mean, it's also a great play to go Gastrodon and predict out the geyser.
Yeah, but that puts him in the situation to go for another freeze dry here. Because I mean, I don't know. Do you see yourself trying to go for a hydro pump on a Gastrodon?
Of course not. No, because it won't do anything.
So
yeah, of course he's gonna go freeze dry here.
I finally bring in my Slush Rush Bear Tick to. I believe I was Swift Swim this week, and
Were ya?
yeah, I think so. I think I'm Choice Banded also. At least I should.
I know you're expert belt.
Okay, so dang, I should have been Choice Banded. That would have been way better. So I just go for the Brick Break here. Break the screen. It does more than half, and that's amazing damage.
Yeah, that is.
I do run a lot of HP into Bear Tick because I don't need to run maximum speed. So he lives on 8, and here I'm just like, wow, I could just go for another Brick Break. I should be straight here. To my surprise, I forgot he got Ice Shard also. So my Bear Tick just goes down, and I'm like, wow. And you know, Bear Tick was looking really good at that point. You know, here I ran the Metronome or Pico. I got in a lot of like people say like it's a really good. I mean, you said it. Squid told me so. Like Metronome or Pico, it's like really good. I was like, you know what? Let me just bring it again. So
yeah.
I go for the Aurora of the Wheel because it would have definitely KO'd. You know, we see the electric type does about a third, I want to say. So I could imagine, you know, what a +1. No, I think I figured he'd burn me here, and I didn't want Morpeko to get burned, but you know, I turned my back on it. I want to say going for another one would have definitely been better.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. It's been a while since I watched this matchup, but man, yeah, staying in with the Aurora Wheel, or the Aura Wheel, I think would have been really clutch because I think at +1, there's a chance that the super effective Dark Aura Wheel KO'd the Dusclops.
Yeah, it was a high chance, but even then, Dusclops, even if he did burn me, let's say, you know, I definitely take it out on the last one, and then you know, I have Send a Scorch in the back at full health, ready to come in when Morpeko goes down, and he can't OHKO me with any move on his team. So like, I want to say definitely just going for another Aura Wheel would have been great. You know, I think I switched out because I have a habit of keeping Morpeko in and like keep going for Aura Wheels like when it's disadvantageous. So yeah, that kind of like prompted me to switch out. Here I finally take out the Dusclops, so my Send a Scorch is really low, but I figured that I could let Send a Scorch go down, I believe, and just bring in Gastrodon because Gastrodon should wall the Hatterene, but I don't know. I just don't look at these Pokemon movesets. And I forget that the Hatterene actually has Giga Drain. Who do I bring in here? Okay, so he has less. This is his last turn of Trick Room, I believe. Yeah. So I bait him to go for the Fairy move, so that I could bring in Gastrodon and I could live the attack. Because at the end of the turn, I'll be faster. I get to just go for a recover and heal it all back. So. Yo, my Pokemon live like really low. So yeah, as you see, the Trick Room ends, and I just go for a recover. I think I was checking to see if I was faster. And at this point, like, I figured I have Morpeko in the back to go for Aura Wheels. I have Gastrodon here as my special defensive wall. Like, things are looking up for me. At least that's what I thought. And I go for the recover, but his Hatterene just sets right back the Trick Room, and I was like, oh man. And I was like, wait, but I should live, you know, seeing that Dazzling Gleam damage, and he goes for Giga Drain, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right. Yeah, that looks like that's game at this point. Because Hatterene is on the Trick Room. He took out my Gastrodon, and my Pokemon are just two Dazzling Gleams away. At the end of the battle, I'm thinking, like, yo, what could I have done with these last two Pokemon? But I think the battle's over at that point. So, yeah, like you said, just going for another, the Dark Aura Wheel on the Dusclops, keeping my Centiskorch at full health would have been great to counter the Hatterene right here. And I want to say that's where I messed up. But before that, the battle was looking pretty good. A lot of back and forth until that one point that was really pivotal. So, little mistakes can cost you the game.
Yeah. Well, that's our first week. I think I'm pretty certain of it. Of us both losing.
Yeah.
So. Not the simultaneous movement that you want to see, but it was a learning week for both of us. I got out prepped, and I think yours was just good match. Honestly, I don't think it was really any fault. Yeah, there was maybe a couple of plays you could have made, but I think it was just a good match. Both you and your opponent played well.
It was really close. That's all I liked about it. So yeah, now we're gonna jump into the week 10. No, yeah, the week 10 battles, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was 9. So this is 10. Yep.
All right, guys. So after those matches you just watched, here is what the movement was looking like. I dropped by 1 while Shiny dropped by 2. So I mean, it's glad to see that we're right back next to each other after we've been away for so long. I believe we were 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, and now we both are 6 and 7. What do you think about the movement from both our losses?
Movement's fine. I only dropped 2 after suffering my worst loss of the season at 5-0, or a 5-0 loss. I think I honestly still don't know who makes the power rankings, but whoever it is, I think they still notice, like, all right, you know what, this is not 100%, like, because there is some massive RNG that rolls in this. Like, it probably would have been a closer match, maybe less of a loss or possible win. So I get where my drop is only 2 spots, which I agree. I mean, the comments like getting ranked too high or can't hold the record has to matter and everything. Like, I gotta say, I adamantly disagree with the commentating on the power rankings. I think just drop the comments. I think just rank it and move on.
Yeah,
I disagree with that. Like it was doing me a favor to keep me in the top 5. I mean, I think I've battled pretty well. I've just had some tough rolls this season, but yeah, I'm in 6th for the power rankings heading into the couple final weeks, and I get it. I can't be ranked too high with a 5 or a 4 and 5 record, so.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I mean, like you said, that commentary is kind of is interesting to say the least. Sometimes, and it could be a little funny. Sometimes it's like, yo, like what do you mean by that? And they're so anonymous, but I gotta love it. It adds another element to the draft league scene.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So yeah, like you already spoke about, that was your worst loss of the season, but you only dropped 2 because you gotta mention that you did pick up the first 6-0 of the season, and you did defeat the undefeated Cerulean Mewtwo's at the time, and I believe going into these last couple of weeks they're still undefeated. So
yeah,
that's definitely nothing to scoff at.
No, and it was a pretty commanding win too at 4-0.
Yeah.
So.
Like you saw, I lost to the Dendemil Dragonites. They've held that top 3 spot for the longest. So I don't want to say it was a surprise, but the battle was also like really close. So they only dropped me 1, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
So let's go into our week 10 battles that just transpired. So
all right, ready?
On you.
All right, and I'll hit play in 3, 2, 1. All right, so going into this match, it was another week where I kind of ran out of some time to prep, but I got a little bit in, got some good observation on the team, and I saw that Salazzle looked amazing. I also hit my first perfect opposing team prediction. I got all 6 right. And then I honestly just kind of had a bad lead. Forgot about some prankster versus prankster stuff. Just, I don't know. I thought I was being so smart with some taunt tech.
Yeah. So what is it like? If they both have prankster, the Pokemon who is faster will just go first?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So I taunted it, and I was like, all right, he's going to hit me with Moonblast, which I'm max Spadef with a positive Spadef nature, and still did a crazy amount of damage because it's super effective, and Whimsicott still has a pretty good special attack. But I did go for the Thunder Wave, just hoping to get some paralysis, some maybe full paras.
Yo, that like threw me back to the Quagsire. Like, oh, Quagsire should eat this positive defense nature, and like, yo, that thing wrecks still.
Yep, it does, and it's fine. I don't know. I mean, Grimmsnarl wasn't great in a G-Max matchup against Duraludon. I did have Drain Punch on there to try and hit it, but it wasn't a great matchup anyway, so Grimm was kind of a little bit expendable, but it was just kind of a bummer to have such a bad lead-off.
Why'd you go for the max guard here?
Leftovers recovery.
Oh, okay, and a little bit of health.
Yeah. Trying to get back health on the leftovers and trying to just take these Moonblasts a little bit better. I was looking at just going for a 1-move G-Max, so if I could go for 2 returns of Max Guard, get a bunch of leftovers recovery, maybe catch them doing something weird on the G-Max Snooze or Max Knuckle, hoping that I could come back with a Grimmsnarl that was decently healthy.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, looking at their team at the bottom, they like have a huge fire poison weakness, you know.
Big.
Like, that's what was just huge for Salazzle. You know, you're being able to predict all 6 Pokemon that they brought was like pretty good. You know, you have the perfect team to go against theirs.
Yep. And I brought the right Inteleon this time, and I brought the right Mimikyu.
And the Galvantula's item is fine?
Yep, everything's good. Everything's good. I didn't mess up and bring anything wrong this week, but I had hoped that I could keep Grimm around longer, because the reason I wanted to keep him healthy and I was trying to get these leftovers recoveries was because I wanted to potentially use him for Thunder Waving a Pokemon if I couldn't get my webs off, because I was still worried about Whimsicott having defog. I wanted to be able to Thunder Wave things. You know, if Primarina was out, I wanted to be able to try and T-Wave that. That was the big one. And then Duraludon, if I could para him and just maybe roll for some full paras. I was, I'm not trying to play for RNG, but at some point it's got to roll, right?
Eventually, whether it's this battle, whether it's 10 battles down the road, it's going to hit eventually. But,
yeah.
I like that you played for the para, you played for a lot of speed, like you said, with the sticky webs and with Thunder Wave Grimmsnarl, and just trying to stun his team.
Yeah, and I predict the Tailwind here and get my Salazzle switched in. I got that hit off, so his sash is gone, and I know he can't KO me. I calculated it out. Moonblast did nothing. Energy Ball did nothing. I was like, he's got to have Tailwind and Defog as the other move. So I thought I was good, and I was trying to figure out like what the next, what Pokemon he would bring in on this. I was like, all right, I've got Duraludon, which I don't want. I was predicting Duraludon, but he actually goes Doug Trio, which is so phenomenal for me because I get the Flamethrower off. And obviously, Whimsicott's probably got to be the sashed one, so Doug Trio goes down, and I get some movement back for myself.
Yeah, that.
So that was
Oko on the Doug Trio. I have talked to the Southside Braves, right? No, or this is Lee.
This is Coach Lee.
Yeah, so yeah. Lee, and he always talks about he wants to like set up his Pokemon with the Tailwind. and like you being able to just go for that flamethrower. Maybe he expected the poison move; it would have been 4 times effective. But you know, Salazzle always hits hard, so that flamethrower was gonna fry the Whimsicott either way. So I definitely agree with the play. You know.
Yeah, I'm modest. Max special attack. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have hit hard.
Yeah. I switched into Grimmsnarl on Duraludon's Gmax here. I was really trying to predict out a depletion, a Gmax depletion, the dragon type move. I was like, all right, the whole point of right now is to stall out this Gmax so this thing doesn't just destroy my face. And he actually went Max Lightning, which I thought was very interesting, on my Salazzle. It's like, okay, I guess.
I could see
that's probably your neutral.
Trying to catch, like a mid-ground, trying to catch Inteleon or Cloyster on the switch-in.
Sure.
And it kind of hits everything. I mean, the Steel Spike would have worked pretty well, too. Because
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but it's whatever. I mean, I lose my Grim. He ended up being death fodder, which is okay. So I get to burn one turn at least, and I was like, all right, I can finish it off. I know that the Tailwind and the Gmax are simultaneously kind of ending here, so I have my Focus Sash. I can get my webs up. I know that there's still, Defog on Whimsicott. That could still be a potential option. But I just figured I'd go this because I thought about going Mimikyu and Drain Punching, but it's Gmax, so it's really not going to do enough. I'm basically getting this thing ready so that I can bring in Mimikyu and hit it at the end. And this right here, you guys, this right here, the Tailwind ended. I'm now faster. Electric Terrain is up. I'm literally just going for as much damage as I can possibly get. Yes, there's some secondary benefits to using Thunder. I never, ever think of those as a possibility.
I don't know. The way it turned out, I beg to differ.
So, I get absolutely a clutch para from the Thunder into a full para and finish out the Gmax. I still have Galvantula around, who I love Galvantula. I think Galvantula hits really, really hard. The Thunder is not very effective, but it's still an electric terrain. Again, I'm faster. I fire it off. After a full para, I roll a crit, which is just crazy.
Yo, that's ridiculous. I've never seen your luck spin this way since January, since the PW.
It's been a while. So I know that I can pressure. There's only a couple of things standing in my way right now. And really, it's the Duraludon and the Incineroar. When those two are gone, Salazzle cleans up. I can go ahead and take care of the Clefable, I can take care of the Primarina, and I can take care of the Whimsicott. So I go Salazzle here, trying to force some movement. I'm thinking he's just going to let me have Duraludon because it's next to nothing in health. It's full para, or it's parad. And a very interesting play, which I don't necessarily disagree with, is that he chooses to save Duraludon, maybe for some death fodder later, and goes Incineroar.
Yeah, Incineroar could definitely eat the hit, it being a fire type. Incineroar has great HP stats. A lot of people like to use it as a wall. And, as you can see, it does about, 15 damage, I'm pretty sure. 15%. So,
yeah. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, Cloyster looks really good here for the defensive standpoint. I, of course, could go Mimikyu and Drain Punch, and Mimikyu does pretty well here, too. But I really saw an opportunity for Cloyster to come in, and the possibility of forcing a switch to let me get a Shell Smash off.
And I like that also because it looks like he was, I want to say, a defensive Incineroar with Clefable maybe being special defensive. That Intimidate. Incineroar isn't really fast, so not many people use it as an attacker.
So I get the absolute best luck. He didn't go knockoff, he didn't go flare blitz, he just went fake out. So I eat that. And at this point, I really don't care about my King's Rock. If he goes knockoff on me, I haven't gotten a flinch all year, so I'm just like, you know what? If he knocks off my stuff, it's fine. So I didn't want to shell smash because I knew I'd be faster, and I hit the rock blast, and I really, really want to get this flinch. I still have my King's Rock, and I can't get it. Can't get it. I haven't been able to use Cloyster very much this year. So I get a KO robbed from me on the recoil, which is fine.
So Cloyster unable to pick up the KO, but it put him in that perfect position. You know, if you got one crit or if you got the flinch, you know, it would have definitely put you in that position. But I mean,
my shiny Shuriken luck is still kind of trying to peek through because, you know, exactly like you said, I had 5 chances at a crit, which would have finished it off and KO'd it. I also had the 80% chance at a flinch or whatever, 70% chance of a flinch or whatever it is. Still couldn't get it. I was like, oh, come on now. But this is the moment of the battle which really kind of finished it and sealed it up for me. I love Clefable, and I use Clefable probably differently than a lot of people, and I use like a Calm Mind setup variant, and I think people forget that Clefable can really set up and kind of get out of control.
Yeah.
So I predict that he's going to go Calm Mind or something to set up, and so I go for the Shell Smash.
Now, do you think, I'm not sure if you talked to him, do you think he was the Unaware set or the Magic Guard set?
Well, based on the damage, I'm guessing he is the Magic Guard set.
Right.
Because, well, I mean, I guess maybe it could have been just normal stuff, but this damage.
Know how much Cloyster does, but I definitely don't think he had any defensive invest. And like you said, like this damage from the Icicle Spear, I'm pretty sure that's a 4-hit KO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he was unaware, I was just gonna play for flinches. I was like, let's get this. Let's get one flinch this season. Come on.
And my thing is, so the turn prior, right, where you Shell Smash, he went for the Wish. And it looks like that turn, he definitely had an opportunity to just switch, but I believe he went for the Teleport. So him, like, teleporting on that turn kind of allowed the Wish to just die, you know, instead of if he maybe hard switched into Primarina, you know. I think that would have been better. Oh my god, I'm like watching it now, and him getting that para into your Icicle Sphere.
Yeah, I don't know if the Tailwind would have mattered.
Right.
He either could have gone Tailwind. Oh, he probably. Oh my gosh! You know what I'm realizing? He probably didn't have Defog because he had Leech Seed. But it didn't matter because even if he got the Tailwind off, I KO the Whimsicott. The Duraludon doesn't do anything. I get rid of the Duraludon. Primarina's left, right? Or he brings in Primarina, and the Tailwind just cancels out the webs.
Right.
He can't do both. He can't Tailwind and Defog. So I'm still faster than the Primarina, and the same outcome would have happened. Is I would have hit the Primarina with Icicle Spear. It, apparently lives or doesn't live. Apparently lives.
I'm surprised he didn't bring in Primarina earlier. Maybe he figured that would have been his win con because, you know, he still had a lot of pieces in the back. So I'm surprised he didn't just switch in Prima after Incineroar got the Flare Blitz damage off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised he left Incineroar in on Cloyster's Rock Blast. Mm-hmm. I thought we would have seen a switch there. Possibly Clefable or something, but I couldn't get the flinch. Primarina gets to bring my differential down just one more. But Salazzle's able to come in and finish this up here.
Because like
I'm gonna
then, you know, he just brought it in and energy balled it there. So, like, I'm not sure what was stopping him from doing it before the other 3 of his Pokemon went down.
I don't know. I mean, it's possibly about what it could have done after.
Oh, okay.
You know, what's it really going to do to Salazzle after I get my hit off on it?
Yeah, because like you said, you know, Duraludon was low, and Incineroar was gone. So with Prima being out the way, you know, Salazzle kind of cleaned it up there anyways. outside of instead of Cloyster, getting 4 KOs.
Yeah, he only got 3. Schlazel picked up the other 2. Yeah, so it was interesting. I think, some RNG finally rolled my way, and I'm going to take it. I'm happy. It's coming at a very clutch moment in the season when I needed that win. So I appreciate it. I think my opponent could have definitely made some switches and done some things to make things tougher for me. By all means. I think, switching out the Incineroar instead of letting it go down, having that intimidating ability and being able to come in, take some hits maybe.
Right. To, stop your Shell Smash, to lower that attack.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then also, looking at, the no knockoff plays from Incineroar as well. He might not be running knockoff. There's also the Clefable. It's like, all right, maybe it wasn't unaware. Why wasn't it? I've got Swords Dancing Mimikyu, Shell Smashing Cloyster. Who knows? But I'll take the W.
So yeah, luckily Shiny Shuriken has picked up a win. Like I said, the way this thing has been gone for the season, we either both lose, or it's either one win and the one other loses. So let's see how it went in my match. So I'm ready to go in my video in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so for this battle I actually prepared with Squid, because he was going up against his usual team partner Blattle. So he hit me up and I was like, sure. Going into this matchup, the opponent has the G-Max Flapple. This is the team that you 6-0'd and made them quit the league, if you forgot. So I was like, after Shiny Shuriken did that, I'm gonna need to at least pull off a 4-0. So, I lead Weezing, usual lead. I don't know. It's uncountable how many times I've led Weezing. There's 11 weeks. I'll probably lead it 10 out of 11. I set up Toxic Spikes because that forces in Garbodor, and I do take that Psychic Fangs really well, so I'm thinking maybe he just goes for it again. But we bring in our Dark type friend, Morpeko, and like we've seen countless times, the last video, you've seen it, I'm pretty sure last week, I started using this thing too. I like it a lot. That Aura Wheel, Metronome Aura Wheel, what can I say? It never disappoints. It's old reliable, that's what you call Mimikyu?
Yeah, you're playing Morpeko really, really well.
And being able to eat the Earthquake, and now he's at +1 on both. We go up to +2 on both with this Aura Wheel, and then it's like, man, I'm ready to start, because nothing is gonna eat this. And I also looked at his team. He doesn't have the Excadrill, so nothing was stopping me from clicking Electric Aura Wheel.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that it switches to Hangry mode when you bring it in on a switch.
Yeah.
Because if you would have been Electric type instead of Dark type, you would have KO'd for sure on that Flying type Silvally, and you wouldn't have had to take the Outrage damage.
Right.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that threw me off. That threw me off, and because I'm thinking I'm gonna come in and throw off an Electric type attack, but we took the damage, and then we go down to the Stomping Tantrum, which I think was inevitable. So maybe a parting shot out would have been better. But like I said before, Morpeko, I start going for Aura Wheels. I don't know. I just kind of lose my mind and I just keep pressing it.
You see red and you just want to keep going.
Yeah.
And then, but funny thing is, the week before, then you switched it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, man, I don't want to get burned though. When staying in would have definitely been the better play. Here I'm running the same Komo-O set as I did against Squid. I believe 2 weeks prior I was Max Defense Dragon Dance set. So I come in on a wall, a physical attacking wall, and it kind of just allows me to start setting up, because he goes for the Toxic. The Gunk Shot does about, I want to say 30, but now I'm looking pretty good. 2 Dragon Dances up, I should outspeed his whole team. Komo-O, let's look at its stats. It has base stat total of 600, and everything is 100 plus except for its HP and speed, which isn't that low. So, when you let this thing set up on you, it could probably just take out the team.
Yeah, Como, of course, being a pseudo-legendary, obviously a great Pokemon. Not one that you want to let set up. I think that you're probably seeing the opposing coach let Bishby set up because he got the Toxic off, and that's going to rack up. But, I mean, it is interesting that they let him sit in so long.
Yeah. So we see the crit in a miss counter, and that'll come up a bit because, I did get a critical hit on the Garbodor, but I don't think at +2 it mattered.
It definitely didn't.
I might be wrong. Yeah, thank you for reassuring that because, I don't know. Maybe RNG thought that giving me these 2 crits, I want to say, it like maybe lines up for the rest of the battle because I don't know what happens, but we'll get into that later. So, as you love to say, what is a G-Max Flapple gonna do? And it came in and it Gigantamaxed and it just went down like immediately after.
Flapple and Frostmoth share a strategy. They come in and they die.
Oh no.
They can't do anything. They just can't. It's too frail. Its defenses are terrible. I mean, if it's not sashed, it's...
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to Brayden, he used G-Max Flapple in the BSL, and, I just wanted to get on his process, he's got to know how to use Flapple way better than me, and, he couldn't even have an answer to that.
There isn't. It just... You just can't. You just have no answers. You have to sash it, get a Dragon Dance off, and try to get as much damage off on the next hit. Yeah. Otherwise, it's nothing.
So, I mean, I was trying to get off a Drain Punch to get some health back, but he keeps throwing in these Pokemon where it's like forcing me to go for the super effective or the attack that does the most damage. And sadly, the Como goes down here after, hitting a lot of Pokemon on his team. I'm pretty sure he picked up 3 KOs, Garbodor, Chandelure, and Flapple. So now, he only has Araquanid and Gigalith left. So I figure I could just go for a Choice Scarf, Air Slash. I'm faster. This should KO. And we miss.
Yeah.
And then we get crit back in return, which absolutely mattered. He had if he was max attack adamant, it had a 6% chance of OHKOing, which I don't really like. I don't get why it had to turn out like that. Like, okay, I miss, but he doesn't get a crit, or I don't know. I don't have any. I bring in Gastrodon.
It's actually a really great Pokemon.
Yeah, that it has a lot of its base stats are pretty good. It has pretty good HP, attack, and special defense, I believe.
I can't remember the base stats off the top, but I just recently went down and ventured down an Araquanid path, and I tell you, between its ability to recover its HPs and just be a massive wall, it can really mess up a team.
And then he gets another crit on my Gastrodon. I was planning on recovering on that turn if he didn't, and it's kind of just like, bruh, what can I do now? So yeah, I finally decide to bring in Wheezing after letting my Gastrodon get crit and abused. I finally go into my defensive wall to finally get some poison type attacks off. Wheezing, like I said, other than Morpeko, is that old reliable.
Yeah. Yep, and this right here, this is exactly why you run Sludge Bomb over Sludge Wave. A lot of people want that extra 5 base power, but the 30% chance of poisoning, huge.
Yeah, because that poison definitely put me in a better position. I didn't see his last attack in this battle, but it looks like he had Substitute. So, yeah, that sub Aqua Ring would have it would have been tough to deal with.
Yep, that's very tough. That's a set that I run. I run sub Aqua Ring Infestation.
Yeah, to keep them in. Here I go for the Protect just to get because I know like his leech life would have been healing him back. He also has the aqua ring set up. I wanted the the poison to do a lot more damage. Because I think it's doing more than the aqua ring. What do I do here? Oh, so I figured he'd go for another leech life. So I wanted Gigalith to be poisoned when it came in. You know, my toxic spice got absorbed by Garbodor, and it looks like he makes the switch a turn earlier than I expected, though.
Yeah. The late game T spikes from Bishme.
Yeah, you can never fail. Never fails. Here I just want to use Gastrodon as a pivotal switch. I actually forgot that the Sandstream didn't go off, so like that surprised me. Like I keep forgetting about this neutralizing gas, man. He goes for the Earthquake, which KOs my Gastrodon. That'll allow me to bring in my Scorch. Now, when I ran through scrims with Squid, you know, the plan was to go for a Max Geyser, and then like Max Geyser twice essentially, or I was supposed to have burnt up before Gigalith came in, because you know, we're bugging fire. If we get hit by a rock type attack, it's gonna kill. So I want to say this was a misplay going for the burnout, because it looks like instead of rock slide, he had Stone Edge, and you know, we get a miss. Luckily, you know, I mean, after missing the air slash and getting crit right back to back, you know, this week I did run a special Scorch also, so it was able to hit, I believe, I wanted Scald to do as most damage as possible. And you know, when you switch the weather, you know, Gigalith doesn't have that special defense boost. And like, let's say if I didn't go for the burn up and I went straight for the Max Geyser, even if he hit the Stone Edge, Gigalith wouldn't have had that Spadef boost, and you know, Weezing could have came in and just sludge bombed it right after. So I want to say that was kind of a misplay on my part, especially also like clicking Max Darkness here because I don't know why a G-Max move didn't do more damage than that.
It's just funny because it's like you're doing everything you can to keep the match going.
Yeah, you know, if
as close as possible. It's
like I said, yeah, I didn't want to go for the Geyser in case he was water absorbed or Araquanid. You know, he could have, like, let's say he predicted the Geyser, brought it in, and then just healed up, and like that would have been a disaster to play against.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is tough, you know, because then Liquidation also would have been getting a boost from the rain.
Yeah, and like I'm not sure if Weezing like a Poison Protect would have gone back and forth with it. Like we could see the Liquidation did a lot of damage there. We get off the Sludge Bomb back, and I believe here with like 2 turns of poison left, the Araquanid goes down, and you know, we had to fight very hard to get this win. You know, it's kind of like Shiny Shuriken stole my RNG or something. You know, I gotta say they did give me those 2 crits, but like the rest of the battle kind of just was out of control, and like I was upset in the battle as it was going on.
It was it was an interesting ending, and honestly, the you know, you saw it in my week 9 matchup, and you see it in Bishme's week 10 matchup. You can see how pivotal one little piece of RNG can be, because that air slash miss on Siglif literally changes the entire landscape of the battle, and it moves it away. I think it was you had a 5. You were up 5 on.
I was 4.
You had 5
Como and Morpeko went down.
Okay, so you were up 4 to maybe 3 or something like that, or
4 to 2. Yeah, because it was just Araquanid and Gigalith.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like, it just brings everything back, and that's the same as my play with Mimikyu. You know, that one pivotal moment literally changed the landscape of the battle. Like, I could have brought my team back a little bit using Mimikyu, and
Right.
RNG can really have a massive impact on these battles.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the first time I witnessed it. You know, that thing really threw me off. Here I was looking at. I'm not sure if you're still playing the video, but here, you know, I was looking at the chance that liquidation had because, like I said before, you know, the miss. Okay, you know, we miss air slashes here and there, but then for the liquidation to crit, it was like, bro. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we get the W. I'm glad that we were able to because that confirmed our spot for the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to going to playoffs.
Yeah, congratulations.
Hey man,
But we still got one
too.
more week.
Yeah,
Still got one more week, and I got a big one. I got to pick mine up. I got to make it.
Yeah, don't worry, man. I have full faith that you'll make it.
Got a strong team, so I'm feeling good about it.
So yeah, let's actually jump into my matchup for week 11. All right, guys. So following both of our wins this week, you know, we looking into my matchup versus Coach Blattle and the Helgen High Dragons. I believe Shiny Shuriken went up against this team week 2, and you know he unfortunately did lose. You know, not to put anything on him. You know, this is a scary team. We have, you know, Ninetales and Venusaur. You know, the strong Sun team. Gengar G-Max, that's nothing to scoff at. He has the, what is that, a legendary or is it a mythical? Terrakion?
Yep.
Yeah, and then we have, you know, Unovian Darmanitan with that sheer force ability is going to hit anything hard. But,
Yep.
I'm not sure, like, what route I wanted to take in this match. You know, we could see Sun, and he was setting up screens with Rotom Fan. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah, huge power Diggersby.
Yeah.
Definitely something to always be worried about. And, of course, the Belly Drum Slurpuff.
Oh, man. G-Max matchup-wise, I know Scorch gets Crunch, and I don't think Gengar can hit me for anything super effectively unless it gets like a rock type attack or a water type attack, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. So, I mean, G-Max matchup is looking really good. You know, Scorch looks pretty good in this match too, with access to Scald for Darmanitan and Diggersby or even Power Whip. Flash Fire Ninetales might be a problem, but other than that, I could see Scorch, like, with its moveset, doing a lot of work.
I really doubt you would see Flash Fire Ninetales.
Yeah.
I really think the only way that thing's going to be brought is for the Drought ability to pair up with Venusaur.
Right, that makes sense. What I could do to counter that, I could bring Blossom with the Chlorophyll. You know, I have yet to use it this season, so you know that could be a play. He also, another thing I could see is like setting up Toxic Spikes with Weezing could force him to bring in Gengar, which is cool. I definitely, so I team prepped with Squid for the last match that I did, and with the RNG. So for this match, I helped him prep against Blattle, and what I predicted was that he either brings his Sun team, like either Ninetales and Venusaur and Darm, or he brings, like, let's say Darm, Terrakion, and you know, Diggersby. I didn't really see him bringing both. So for this one, I would say against me, maybe he doesn't go the Sun route because of Scorch, and he goes, you know, let's say a more rock type offense with Terrakion, Diggersby, Darmanitan, Gengar, and maybe like 2 walls with like Rotom Fan and maybe Serena.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't brought Basculin, I think. Maybe he brought it once. I don't have that up, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. You know, it's the last matchup in the season. Me and Blattle are confirmed for playoffs, so this matchup doesn't matter too much. But you know, I definitely want to end off with a win. I might even go for a more interesting set now that I know I'm confirmed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Must be nice.
So yeah, let's forward into your matchup. What is it?
I'm going up against the Lisbon Arcanines.
Oh, yep. Let's see.
Who I think Coach Squid has also been confirmed for playoffs. So this battle doesn't matter for him. However, it does matter for me. So I do need to pick up a win. Or if I lose, it needs to really only be by like one Pokemon, I think.
Right.
I can't really sacrifice much here. So I need to go into this one trying to take this W in a commanding style, and I do want to make playoffs. It's going to be a tough team. Lots of great players. Aegislash, Lucario, Drapion, Ribambe, another Webs user, of course. So a little battle of the Webs. But some also great low-tier stuff with, we've seen how well Bishmi can use Quillfish in other leagues. So I got to watch out for that. Lantern as well can be annoying. EVLA Piloswine can hit like a truck, and Noctowl can be tough to bring down. He's never brought Noctowl, but it can be tough. And then of course a shell smashing Crustle. So some big threats. I'm not really afraid of the G-Max matchup. If we're looking at G-Max matchups, it's an Appleton. Who cares?
Yo.
Those things can get cooked. I'll tell you, Ice Beam from Inteleon, and that thing's dead. So it could be interesting. Aegislash is always a tough Pokemon to deal with. He's brought that to every matchup. Ribambe's come to 8 out of 10. Good usage around the whole thing. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. What do you expect him to bring against your team?
I see Aegislash coming.
Right.
Arcanine could be interesting, just from a speed perspective. If he gets, I'm sure we'll see Ribambe. I think we'll see a Ribambe probably turn 1 and web setup. And then I think we're looking at possible Arcanine, Lucario. I think kind of just going down the top. I think it's Aegislash, Arcanine, Lucario, Drapion, Ribambe. I could see Piloswine coming as well.
Yeah, I do know he likes to use Quillfish as a defensive wall. He might use that to come in on Mimikyu. I can see that because, you brought it to 10. I don't ever see you leaving it at home, as I always say. Right, Bombay, he could run it with the Sticky Web support set or even the Quiver Dance set. I gotta ask you, man, do you see Gudra coming off the bench? Because after the first 2 weeks, it seems like you forgot you had it, to say the least.
It's just, it's an underwhelming Pokemon for me, and it doesn't look fantastic in this matchup either. It's not great. It's not great on the physical defense side, and this is a very physically hitting team.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Arcanine, Lucario, Drapion, Crustle, Quillfish, Piloswine, he hasn't brought Noctowl, so the special attackers are very few. Yes, it could do pretty well against Ribambe because it always does surprise fairy-type users, but it seems kind of wasteful to have it in for just that matter. I do need to get it more use. It is a great Pokemon, but
not this one.
Not this one. It doesn't look great for this matchup.
Okay, I just had to ask. That thing has not seen the light of day. That's all I gotta say.
Well, it hasn't done that well.
But yeah, hopefully, like you said, you definitely need this for playoffs. If not the win, it needs to be a very close loss in order for you to still make it. And I definitely think you can do it. You played really hard this whole season. I'm looking forward to how the power rankings are looking for this last season. For this last week going into it. But yeah, we're gonna close out here. Thank you guys for watching. This one is definitely longer than the usual long videos because we had to add in weeks 9 and 10. Yes. This is going to be the ending of the SRL coming up, and I want to say I had a fun season. We got Mac actually starting his own PWD draft, that's going up I think next week, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 2 weeks I think, or is it next week already?
I don't know. It's the 17th, right? Or
yep, it is next Friday. So yeah. So that'll be fun. Yeah, we're going to be jumping into the PWD draft season, but we've still, of course, got the SRL here with a couple of weeks left here at least. Because Bishme is in the playoffs, so there'll at least be a week 11 and a playoff week.
Yep.
So we'll be rocking it out over here. Hopefully, Bishme and I can take it further than that, and we can make it in, or I can make it in, and Bishme's in, and we can make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see you in the finals.
I think we can only meet up in the semifinals.
Oh, okay.
We're the same division, so.
Well, looking forward to it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Shiny Shuriken's channel is linked in the description. Go check over there. He has a lot of great content, Pokemon and his battles. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video.
Thanks, guys.